Hey everybody, welcome to a new episode of the Gadgeteer Video Podcast. This week I am going to deliver on a promise that I made in the last episode. If you remember, I showed you the comic that I made when I was a kid, and I said that I was going to use my iPad right there to digitize it and turn it into a modern version of this ballpoint pen on ruled school paper comic. And I have. I'll show you that comic here in a second, but I want to talk about the process. I started out by loading up Procreate, which I had already owned. It's an app that will let you draw on the iPad using the Apple Pencil. And I hadn't used it in a long time, and it was pretty hard to get back into the flow of trying to learn how to use that app. There's a lot to making a comic. And within maybe an hour or so, I kind of thought, why did I say that I was going to digitize this? This is going to be way too much work. And I thought, well, you know what? Let's use AI to do it. And so I started investigating Midjourney. And I'm sure if you're a nerd or a geek, you've heard of Midjourney and you've heard of ChatGPT. It's the new buzzwords going around for anyone interested in artificial intelligence, but Midjourney is for creating AI art. And I thought, I could create each panel in my comic using Midjourney, and I could whip out a comic book in, an hour. Yeah, that's what I thought. Did it work out for me? No. I started out with some really cool images. Let's take a look. Here we are inside Midjourney, and if you're not familiar with Midjourney, it is a service that links with Discord, which is a chat server, and you give it prompts to create an image. And when you do that, you get 4 images, and then you can customize the images further. I wanted to use Midjourney to generate a picture for the first panel of the comic where the main character, Tom, sees a cat on a fence, and the cat has glowing eyes. So I just went into Midjourney and I said something like, young boy in blue jeans and a t-shirt sees a cat on a fence with glowing eyes. And here is the pictures that it generated, which is pretty cool. Then I did some other stuff. I tried again, so it's a little bit different there. You can see the cat. There's not much of a fence. There it is again. I tried a little bit further. As you can see, they look pretty cool. It looks like a comic. It doesn't look like anything that I would be able to draw myself. Then I tried making a cat on a fence with glowing eyes. But the problem is that I ran into, there isn't an easy way to generate a character and then to continue to use the exact same character but in different poses. I watched a bunch of video on YouTube where people talk about this, and they go into various gyrations on how to do it. But it was just going to take too much time, and I figured, okay, go back and do it the old-fashioned way. So in the end, I said, forget AI. I'm not going to cheat. I am going to learn how to use Procreate. So I went to YouTube, I watched a ton of tutorials, and I was successful in learning how to use it. It was fun, and I've been enjoying it quite a bit. And I also used an app called Comic Life, which let me lay out the comic in different panels and put speech bubbles and titles and everything like that. So are you ready to see the finished product? So first of all, let's do a quick refresher of what my original comic book looked like that I drew when I was a teenager. Let's just look really quick at some of these very crude sketches. Okay, and I used Comic Life and Procreate to do this. Let's just fix this right here, and here we go. Now, I don't want to have to read this all back to you because nobody's probably that interested, but I'm just going to flip through the pages. pages so you can see what it looks like. I had a lot of fun doing this. At first, I used the original comic as a template and then inked over it and made some various changes. But then I quickly got tired of that because I felt like I just wanted to redraw it from scratch. I was able to recycle the character in different poses. I was able to like cut him out here and then use him in like this picture here by taking his arm and rotating it. It was pretty cool. It's fun doing the speech bubbles and the text in the Comic Life app. And there's the last picture. I drew that pretty much from scratch. And I can show you that this was the original picture. And this is what I came up with. Anyway, it was a lot of fun. I don't have any illusions of being a comic book artist, but I'm pretty proud of the way that it turned out. So what do you think? Be kind. I know it's lame, but I had fun drawing and I think I turned out pretty well, if I do say so myself. I'm pretty proud of myself. In other news, I've been using my iPad to read actual published comics. I've been using the app called Hoopla, which links into your library to let you check out comics for free. And a couple of the titles that I've been reading, this one is called 8 Billion Genies. It's going to be 8 issues, and right now there's just 6, with another one coming in just a few weeks. And it's pretty cool. I like it a lot so far. I won't spoil the story, but if you're interested, look up 8 Billion Genies. And then another one that I'm currently reading is called Paper Girls. I read the first issue and now I'm into the second issue, and I don't know how many issues there are. I think there are quite a few. There's a lot of volumes of this one, maybe up to 30, maybe more, I don't know. But it's about this group of girls who are paper carriers, and they run into these people going in and out of time. It's like a sci-fi thing. I'm not sure if I love it yet, but I'm only on the second issue. But it's fun. It is something to read. If you have any comics that I should check out, definitely let me know in the comments below. And if you're enjoying this episode, please give me a thumbs up. I would appreciate it. It helps me know that I'm on the right track. I have another announcement to make today. If you recall on my last episode, which was the first episode of the year, I said that 2023 was going to be my year of projects and experiments. So the comic digitalization, I can't even say that word, was my first project, and I think that it went by pretty successfully. So my next project, or is actually going to be an experiment, and that's going to be to try again to switch from iOS to Android. And how am I going to do that? Well, today was Samsung's Unpacked event, and they announced their new Galaxy S23 phone, so I ordered one. I ordered the S23 Ultra, and I ordered the Galaxy 5 Pro watch because I love my Apple Watch and the iPhone combo together. They're pretty great, and so to do a whole experiment, I need one of each, a phone and a watch. So that's supposed to get here on February 17th. So I will probably have another Gadgeteer video podcast before I get a chance to actually start using the phone and the watch together. So we'll have to wait a little bit for the outcome of that experiment. But I'm pretty excited to give it a try, and the new Samsung phones look pretty great, especially the photography part. I don't know, the phone that I have right now is the iPhone 13 Pro Max. I didn't get the 14. I didn't think it was worth the update and the money. And, you know, I loved the 12 Pro Max, and then when we got the 13 Pro Max, I felt like the camera was actually a teeny bit of a step back in some ways. I don't know, or it was just right on the level. I didn't notice anything better about it. So I'm anxious to see what I think about the Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra's camera. The only thing I'm worried about is being able to easily transfer photos to my MacBook Pro. That's one of the best things about the iPhone is that you can, or the iPad, is you can take any of the pictures that you've taken, select them all and airdrop them right to your MacBook just within seconds. It is so fast. And I don't know if there's a way to do that between a Galaxy S23 and a MacBook. If you know of a way, please let me know. And with that, I'm going to say, see you later, have a great day, and please consider subscribing.